Hello, welcome to today's edition of the Daf Yomi. Menachot Daf, Masechet Menachos, is the Steinsaltz edition, and today's Daf is Daf 29, Amud A. So let's dive straight in. Therefore, the candelabrum contains 4 goblets of its main shaft and 18 of the 6 branches. This equals 22 goblets. Concerning the knobs as well, it's clear how the number 11 was reached. The candelabrum contains the 2 knobs of its main shaft, as the verse states its knobs, Exodus 25:34, with the plural knobs indicating that there were 2, and 6 of the branches, as is written in one branch, a knob and a flower, Exodus 25:33. In addition to these 8 knobs, the verse states, and a knob under 2 branches of one piece with it, and a knob under 2 branches of one piece with it, and a knob under 2 branches of one piece with it. You see the same thing 3 times there. Exodus 25:35. This equals 11 knobs. But from where do we derive that the candelabrum contained 9 flowers? And according to the verse, there are 2 flowers in its main shaft, as is written, and its flowers, Exodus 25:34, and 6 of the 6 branches, as is written, in one branch a knob and a flower, Exodus 25:33, meaning that there are 8. Not 9 flowers on the candelabrum. Rav Shalman said in response, it is written, it was a beaten work from the base to the flower in Numbers 8:4, which teaches that there were 9 flowers near the base. Rav says the height of the candelabrum is 9 handbreadths. Rav Shimi Bar Chia raised an objection to the statement of Rav. We learned in the Mishnah Talmud 30b, there was a stone before the candelabrum. Even Haisar of name Noah, a stone with 3 steps stood before the candelabrum in the temple. It is upon this stone that the priest would stand to prepare the lamps. In addition, the priest would rest the utensils holding the oil, the tongs, and the pans upon this stone while he prepared the lamps. Rambam Sefer Vod, Hilchot Beit Ruchia 3:11. And it had 3 steps upon which the priest would stand and prepare the lamps for kindling. If the candelabrum was only 9 handbreadths high, why would it be necessary for the priest to stand on an elevated service to reach the lamps? Rav said to him, Shimi, it is you. What does that mean? Shimiat. According to Rashi, Rav asked in bewilderment, can it be that you, the great sage Shimi, do not know the answer to this question on your own? Rashi on Brachas 43b. Alternatively, in Tractate Nida, in 24a, Rashi explains that Rav addressed his grandson Rav Shimi Bar Chia in such a manner out of fondness for him, as if to say, Shimi, you know the answer. Who is asking me such a question? When I said that the height of the candelabrum is 9 handbreadths, I was not referring to the total height, which is 18 handbreadths. I meant that the candelabrum is 9 handbreadths from the point at which the branches extend from the main shaft and above. It is written, and the flowers, and the lamps, and the tongues, and the gold, and that perfect gold, Miklat Zahav, in 2 Chronicles 4:21. The Gemara asks, what is meant by Miklat Zahav? Rav Ami says, it's relevant to the fact that the candelabrum and its vessels exhausted Kilatu, all of Solomon's gold. Suga, what's that? Zahav Suga, pure gold. Rashi explains in accordance to the Gemara in Tractate Yoma 45a, where it is called Zahav Suga, Sagur, which literally means closed gold, because when a shop opens to sell it, all the other shops close, discover it, as no one is interested in purchasing any other type of gold. The Rambam explains that it means pure gold, and it is called Zahav Sagur because it is closed in a forge to remove its imperfections. See 1 Kings 7:49. Gold, Zahav. And we have that. Suga, pure. It is clear that this describes high quality gold, but it is difficult to determine the literal meaning of the term sagur in terms of other known meanings of the word. In any event, there is a similar term in Akkadian, sakru, meaning a type of pure gold, which is used in its fashioning in such great quantities. As Rav Yehuda says, that Rav said, Solomon made 10 candelabums, and for each and every one he brought 1,000 talents of gold, and they placed the gold in the furnace to refine it 1,000 times, until they reduced the gold to 1 talent for each candelabrum. As is stated, of a talent of pure gold shall be made in Exodus 25:39. The Gemara asks, is that so? That all of Solomon's gold was exhausted for the fashioning of the candelabrum and its vessels. But it is in the and all King Solomon's drinking vessels were of gold, and all the vessels of the house of the forest of Lebanon were of pure gold. Silver was nothing accounted of in the days of Solomon. In 2 Chronicles 9:20, the Gemara answers, we are saying that Solomon's pure gold was exhausted for fashion of the candelabrum, but not all of his gold. The Gemara asks, but how to find the gold reduced to this extent, that 1,000 talents of gold will be reduced to 1 talent? There is an important abide of Rabbi Yossi, son of Rabbi Huda, says, an incident occurred where the weight of the candelabrum of the temple was found to be greater than the weight of the candelabrum of Moses by 1 hodikini gold dinar, and they placed it in a furnace 80 times until the weight of the candelabrum stood at precisely 1 talent. Evidently, putting the candelabrum into the furnace reduces weight by very little. More answers. Once it is standing, it is standing. Since the gold was refined to such a degree in the time of Solomon, later when it was refined 80 times, it was reduced by the weight of only 1 dinar. Rabbi Shmuel bar Nahmani says that Rabbi Yochanan says, what is the meaning of that which is written upon the pure candelabrum in Leviticus 24:4? It teaches that the procedure for fashioning it descended. I was shown to Moses from the place of purity, by God, who showed Moses a model of the candelabrum. The Gemara asks, and if that is so, is that to say that the phrase upon the pure table in Leviticus 24:6? So what's the footnote? The Rashba explains that the reading of the Gemara assumes that the form of the table was not shown to Moses as it was form of the candelabrum. It is only with regard to the candelabrum that the verse says, according to the pattern which the Lord had shown Moses. So he made the candelabrum, Numbers 8:4. Alternatively, the design of the table was relatively straightforward, so there would be no need for it to be shown to Moses. And at the conclusion of each festival, all the vessels in the temple would be immersed in a ritual bath, since they were touched over the course of the festival by those who were unreliable with regard to ritual purity. Therefore, all were told, do not touch the table in the temple when it is shown to the pilgrims during the festival, as this will cause it to be ritually impure unto the festival and require ritual immersion in a ritual bath and a rather nightfall. From Sefer Tahara, Hilchot Tamei Mishkav Moshav 11:11 also teaches that the procedure for fashioning it was shown to Moses from the place of purity. Rather, the expression of the pure table teaches by inference that it is susceptible to become ritually impure. And too, the expression the pure candelabrum teaches by inference that this is susceptible to becoming ritually impure. The Gemara rejects it. Granted, the inference drawn there of the table is in accordance with that which Reish Lakish says. As Reish Lakish says, what is the meaning of that which is written upon the pure table in Leviticus 24:6? The expression pure table teaches by inference that it is susceptible to becoming ritually impure. But why? Isn't the table a wooden vessel designated to rest? A wooden utensil designated to remain fixed in its place and never moved is not susceptible to contact with impurity, either by Torah or rabbinic law, even if it is small. On the Sefer Tahara, Hilchot Kelim 3:1. A fixed place, and any wooden vessel that is designated to rest in a fixed place is not subject to becoming ritually impure. Well, the teacher that the table was not always left in a fixed place, and the priest would lift the table with the shubed to display the shubed to the pilgrims standing in the temple courtyard, and the priest would say to them, see your affection before the omnipresent. The trees in the temple are susceptible to becoming ritually impure. So what's the footnote about the pilgrims? Shemat bihin also the ole galayim umayim lehem lechem upon them. They will lift the table to display the shubed to the pilgrims. According to the Rambam, the table was taken out of the sanctuary. Rambam says the Hilchot Matame Mishkav Umoshav 11:11. Tosfot in Chagiga 26b explained that the table was not taken out of the sanctuary and simply shown through the entrance of the sanctuary. Parenthetically, the Gemara asks, what is meant by see your affection before God? It is in accordance with that which Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi says. He says, as Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi says, a great miracle is performed in the shubed. Its condition at the time of its removal from the table after it had been left there for a week or like the condition at the time of the arrangement on the table, as is stated to place hot bread on the day when it was taken, and 1 Shmuel 21:7, indicating that it was hot on the day of its removal, as it was on the day when it was placed on the table. The Gemara resumes stating its objection. But here, with regard to the candelabrum, there is no reason to explain the expression the pure candelabrum teaches, by inference that it is susceptible to becoming richly impure. This is obvious, as candelabras are metal vessels, and metal vessels are susceptible to become richly impure whether or not they remain in a fixed location. Rather, it must be that the expression the pure candelabrum teaches that the procedure of fashioning it descended, as was shown to Moses, from a place of purity. And the story in the Braita of Rabbi Yossi, son of Rabbi Yehuda, says, an ark of fire and a table of fire and a candelabrum of fire descended from the heavens. When Moses saw their form and fashioned the vessels for the tabernacle in their likeness. As this is stated after the command to fashion these items, and see that you shall make them after their pattern, which is being shown to you in the mount. Exodus 25:40. The Gemara asks, if that is so, is that to say that the verse, and you shall set up the tabernacle according to its fashion, which has been shown to you in the mount, Exodus 26:30, also indicates that God showed Moses a tabernacle of fire. The Gemara answers, here with regard to the tabernacle is written according to its fashion, meaning that it should be built according to the instructions given to Moses, whereas there with regard to the ark, table and candelabrum, it is written after their pattern, indicating that an actual model of the items was shown to Moses. Apropos this discussion, the Gemara relates, Abba says that Rabbi Yochanan says the angel Gabriel was girded with a type of wide belt, a basikaya. So what's that? From the Lashon fascia, meaning wide belt or girdle, and the man of the artisans who tie up their clothes to prevent these clothes from hindering them in their work. And he showed the precise way to fashion the candelabrum to Moses as is written, and this is the work of the candelabrum in Numbers 8:4. And the term this indicates that an exact replica was shown to him. The school of Rabbi Shmuel taught 3 masses were difficult for Moses to comprehend precisely until the Holy One, blessed be He, showed them to him with his finger. And these are the 3 masses: the form of the candelabrum, and the exact size of the new moon, and the impure creeping animals. The candelabrum was showed to him as is written, and this is the work of the candelabrum. Numbers 8:4. The new moon was shown to him as is written, this month shall be for you the beginning of months. Exodus 12:2. The creeping animals were shown to him as is written, and these are they which are unclean for you among the swarming things. Leviticus 11:29. And there are those who say that God showed Moses the halakha of slaughtering, as is stated, now this is that which you shall sacrifice upon the altar in Exodus 29:38. And slaughtering is the first ritual of sacrifice. And the Mishnah teaches, with regard to 2 passages that are in the mezuzah, Shetei Parasios Sheba B'mezuzah, with regard to 2 passages that are in the mezuzah, i.e. the first and second paragraphs of the Shema, the absence of even one letter prevents the fulfillment of the mitzvah by Torah. Rambam Sefer Hava, Tefillin Mezuzah v'Sefer Torah 1:2, Shulchan Aruch Lachem 32:4, New Day 288:7. The absence of each prevents fulfillment of the mitzvah with the others. And furthermore, the absence of even one letter prevents fulfillment of the mitzvah with the rest of them. The Gemara asks, isn't it obvious that the absence of even one letter prevents fulfillment of the mitzvah, since it is written, and you shall write them, who shall have time? Deuteronomy 6:9, which teaches that the writing ketav must be complete tam. Rabbi Yehuda says that it was necessary to say that only to teach that even in the absence of the thorn, i.e. the small stroke of the letter Yud, prevents fulfillment of the mitzvah. So what does that mean? In Rashi, this refers to the right leg of the letter Yud. Rabbeinu Tam objects to this, explaining that this is obvious, as without the right leg there remains no letter Yud. He explains that Gemara is to be referring to the portion of the roof of the letter Yud that is bent down on the left side. According to the Rosh in Hilchot Sefer Torah 12, it refers to the stroke that extends from the left edge of the letter Yud. See Piskei Harid or refutation of this opinion. And you see there's a picture here of the Yud. At the top left is Rashi. At the top, then the Beinu Tam at the bottom. The Rosh at the top of the left side of the Yud. The bottom left side of the Yud is the Beinu Tam, and Rashi is on the right side. I'm going to ask, this is obvious since the letter is not properly formed. Rather, it is necessary according to another statement that Rav Yehuda says that Rav says. As Rav Yehuda says that Rav says, any letter is not encircled with blank parchment. What does that mean? Every letter must be surrounded by blank parchment on all four sides rather than be connected to an adjacent letter. If it is not surrounded by parchment, then it is not fit. And that's when the Rambam says, V'hava hilchot tefillin, in Mezuzah v'Sefer Torah 119, Shulchan Aruch, Chaim 32:4, and Yoredeah 274:4. On all four sides, i.e., where it's inconnected to the letter above, below, preceding it, or succeeding it, it is unfit. When the Mishnah makes reference to one letter preventing fulfillment of the mitzvah, it is referring to a letter that touches an adjacent letter. Ashiyan ba Nachbach Mishmei de Rav Yehuda. Ashiyan ba Nachbach Mishamei says in the name of Rav Yehuda, if the inner part of the letter Hey was perforated. So what does that mean? If after the letter Hey Mem was written, its inner space is perforated, it is fit, even if the perforation filled the entire space. This is according to the second explanation of Rashi. It appears that according to the Jewish Talmud, it is necessary for the inside of the letter and not only the outside to be surrounded by parchment. One should act in accordance with the opinion of the Jewish Talmud Abnisha. When we say V'hava hilchot tefillin in Mezuzah v'Sefer Torah 120, Shulchan Aruch Chaim 92:15, see the Mishnah Berurah there. It is fit. According to Rashi's first explanation, this refers to the left leg of the letter Hey. Other early commentaries object to this, claiming that it does not fit with the language of the Gemara, which is speaking of the inner part of the letter, and that there is no reason to call the left leg and not the right leg the inside of the letter. Sefer had 204. Mammon and others agree with Rashi's second explanation, that is, that it refers to the space within the letter. It is stated in the Jewish Talmud in the name Ashiyan that the circle is fit only if the inside, and that the outside is encircled on all four sides with parchment. But if the perforation was in the letter of the leg of the letter Hey, so the diagram here, the inner part of the letter Hey, the leg of the letter Hey, if the perforation is in the right leg of the letter Hey, and if there remains of the leg the equivalent of the letter Yud, then it is fit. If not, it is unfit. If the left leg was perforated, as long as some small amount remained of it, it is fit according to the Rosh and the fit explanation of Rashi. According to other authorities, it is fit only if there remained the equivalent of the letter Yud, and this is the halacha in practice. I'm say for Hava hilchot tefillin Mezuzah v'Sefer Torah 120, Shulchan Aruch Chaim 15, and the comment of the Ramah is unfit. And Rabbi Zera says this matter is explained to me by Rav Huna, and Rabbi Yaakov says this matter is explained to me by Rav Yehuda. The inner part of the letter Hey was perforated is fit. In the case where the perforation was in the last leg of the letter Hey, then if there remained in the leg that is attached to the roof of the letter the equivalent of the measure of a small letter. What does that mean? According to Rashi, this refers to the right leg of the letter Hey, as the left leg is referred to as the inside of the letter. Therefore, the requirement that the equivalent of the letter Yud remain applies onto the right leg, but in the case of the left leg, if any amount remains, it is fit. To the Rosh, others disagree and hold on the requirement that the equivalent of the letter Yud remain applies to both the left and the right leg, and that's in the Mukhe Yosef. Rashi's explanation is difficult, and if all that remains of the right leg is equivalent to the letter Yud attached to the roof of the letter, then the left leg is not parallel to it, but rather below it, and the form of the letter Hey does not remain. For this reason, some explain the opposite. And it is in the case of the left leg that the letter is still fit if the equivalent of the letter Yud remains, and that's from Rabbi David Loria. The letter Yud, and it is fit, but if not, it is not fit. The Gemara relates, Arga, the father-in-law of Rabbi Abba. So that was the end of that Omid. Thank you very much for listening, and take care. All the best. Bye.